There are many jaw-dropping structural feats around the world that have their own interesting engineering designs. But the one type of structure that would always leave us in great awe are dams. Their sheer dimension and immense capacity have this humbling effect to anyone who would come across this structure. It's literally like standing in front of a calm, reassuring giant staring at you in all its glory. And it goes without saying, dams are one of the most intricately designed structures in the world. So let's have a look at the most dangerous dams in the world. Please like and subscribe for more informative videos like these. Number 10. The Mosul Dam. The Mosul Dam, which stretches across the Tigris River in a valley north of Mosul, Iraq. As dams go, this one is a civil engineering horror. The dam was captured on August 7th by the Islamic State and retaken 10 days later by Iraqi and Kurdish forces with American air support. Should the 2-mile-wide dam fail, which is likely, Mosul would be wiped out and the damage would extend to Baghdad. Loss of life could reach 500,000 and millions could be deprived of water and power, an immense catastrophe piled on the daily pain of Iraq. The Mosul Dam was a rush job, ordered by Saddam Hussein in the 1980s, without regard to the engineering realities of the site. It is anchored in gypsum, which dissolves in water. Daily, leaks in the foundation have to be plugged with grout, a mixture of cement and sand. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers said the Mosul Dam is fundamentally the wrong structure for the location and called it the most dangerous dam in the world. Even with careful tending, the Mosul Dam is in danger. Number 9. The Kariba. The Kariba is in southern Africa on the Zambezi River. This 55-year-old dam, by some measures, is the world's second largest. It was a civil engineering masterpiece and has held up well, given the spotty maintenance by its owners, Zambia on the north bank and Zimbabwe on the south bank. But the Kariba Dam is predicted to fail within 3 years unless it undergoes massive repair. If it does, surging water would rip a vast trench down the length of the Zambezi River on its route to the Indian Ocean. The wall of water would take out another giant dam, Cahora Bassa, in Mozambique. Loss of life could reach 3.5 million with untold damage to wildlife. South Central Africa would lose 40% of its electric supply. Apart from general maintenance issues, the Kariba Dam's problems are a little simpler. When the dam was built between 1955 and 1959, the plan was to control the river's flow through 6 sluice gates set in the wall. The water travels through the sluices and empties into a plunge pool before flowing downstream. Number 8. Bhakra Dam. Built on the borders of Punjab and Haryana, this dam is a multi-purpose dam in India, which generates about 1,300 megawatts of power, as well as about half of the cultivated water of Punjab and Haryana. Actually, many times people understand that it is a single dam, but it is not so. These are 2 separate dams which are built at a distance of about 10 kilometers from each other, but both have the same purpose. Bhakra Dam is built at high altitude, while Nangal Dam is at a lower elevation. If ever the Bhakra Dam breaks, it is estimated that more than half of Punjab and Haryana will flow into Pakistan, with the greatest destruction coming to Pakistan, where the lives of millions of people will be greatly affected by it. Number 7. Three Gorges Dam. China's construction work is always the largest in the world. The same thing is also seen in the Three Gorges Dam. Of all things that humans have created in the world to date, this is one of the strongest and orderly dams. The vastness of this dam can be gauged by the fact that there is so much water in it that the Earth also starts moving slowly by 0.06 microseconds, and it has become flat in the middle and more round at the poles. The rotation of the Earth has also slowed down by placing about 40 billion tons of water up to 175 meters. But ever since this dam is ready, the problems of the Chinese government have increased. With its creation, 13 billion people have had to leave their homes, cities, and villages. The problem of continuous flooding in the surrounding areas has increased. Land ejaculation has also emerged as a major problem. Number 6. Oroville Dam. Oroville Dam is an earth-fill embankment dam on the Feather River east of the city of Oroville, California, in the Sierra Nevada foothills east of the Sacramento Valley. At 770 feet, 235 meters high, it is the tallest dam in the U.S. and serves mainly for water supply, hydroelectricity generation, and flood control. About 70 miles north of Sacramento along the Feather River in the Sierra Nevada foothills, this earth-filled dam rises 770 feet tall and at the base has a reach of 3/4 of a mile. This mound of earth stops up the Lake Oroville Reservoir, which offers drinking water, water-based recreation, and hydroelectric power while mitigating flood damage. It was officially dedicated in 1968, 7 years since the start of construction, with one giant train wreck during construction that halted all progress for a week. Since then, the Oroville Dam has stood as the country's tallest dam for nearly 50 years. Number 5. Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam is a concrete arch gravity dam in the Black Canyon of the Colorado River on the border between the U.S. states of Nevada and Arizona. It was constructed between 1931 and 1936 during the Great Depression and was dedicated on September 30th, 1935 by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Its construction was the result of a massive effort including thousands of workers and cost over 100 lives. The superlatives fly when it comes to the Hoover Dam. Built between 1931 and 1935, the Art Deco detail dam was easily the most expensive engineering project in the country at the time and became the tallest dam in the country at 726 feet tall. Still the second tallest dam overall and the tallest concrete dam, it required 91.8 billion cubic feet of concrete to create the arch gravity dam with a 600-foot wide base weighing 6.6 million tons in total. The Hoover Dam holds back the Colorado River and straddles the border between Arizona and Nevada, near Boulder City, Nevada, a town originally created for the project's workers. Behind Hoover, Lake Mead fills the largest man-made reservoir in the country. Number 4. Grand Coulee Dam. The Grand Coulee Dam is a concrete gravity dam on the Columbia River in the U.S. state of Washington, built to produce hydroelectric power and provide irrigation water. Constructed between 1933 and 1942, Grand Coulee originally had only 2 powerhouses. The third powerhouse, completed in 1974 to increase energy production, makes Grand Coulee the largest power station in the United States by nameplate capacity at 6,809 megawatts. The Grand Coulee Dam may not be the tallest at 550 feet, but the seriousness of this 1942-built dam outside of Spokane, Washington, comes from its sheer size. With over 12 million cubic yards of concrete, the Grand Coulee Dam spans the Columbia River for nearly a full mile, backing up Franklin D. Roosevelt Lake Reservoir nearly to Canada. Depending on your preferred analogy, the Grand Coulee Dam contains enough concrete to build a highway from Miami to Seattle or a sidewalk around the equator twice. But the dam doesn't just sit there. With 21 billion kilowatt hours of electricity annually, Grand Coulee creates the most hydroelectric power of any dam in the United States. Number 3. Dwarfs Shack Dam. Dwarfs Shack Dam is located approximately 4 miles, 6 kilometers northwest of Orofino and impounds the Dwarfs Shack Reservoir for flood control and hydroelectricity generation. It took roughly 7 years to build what would become the third tallest dam in the nation, and the tallest straight-axis, not curved, concrete gravity dam in the Western Hemisphere. Despite its impressiveness, the 717-foot-tall dam was never a popular project. Dwarfs Shack had been saddled with controversy. 1990s expansion approvals were rescinded for disrupting the natural wildlife of the area. The dam was controversial from the start because it would block fish migration, and its reservoir would flood a large portion of the winter range of elk in the Clearwater River Basin. The North Fork of the Clearwater River had an excellent run of steelhead trout and may have been the finest population of large-sized steelhead in the world. However, proponents of the project held that the construction of a fish hatchery would maintain the river's steelhead runs, and that the construction of the dam would render other dam projects in the Clearwater River Basin unnecessary. Number 2. The Grand Renaissance. The Grand Renaissance Dam project, under construction in the Ethiopian state of Benishangul Gumuz on the Blue Nile River, has raised fears that downstream countries, Sudan and Egypt, could suffer from drastically reduced river flow, practically shutting down the Nile. While Sudan and Egypt are entitled to 90% of the Blue Nile's flow in an agreement made during the 1920s, the reality is that Ethiopia holds 86% of the river's water in its territory, allowing great geopolitical leverage over the region's most important natural resource. Environmental experts have also warned the dam project could affect up to 200 kilometers of the river course and displace over 5,000 people in nearby villages. The $4.7 billion hydroelectric power project is being mostly funded by Ethiopian bonds and taxpayers after the World Bank and private investors showed unwillingness to invest. Despite the International Monetary Fund's warning that the project could place a huge burden on the country's economy, the Ethiopian government has signaled its intention to move on their desire to create Africa's largest hydropower project with 6,000 megawatts installed capacity. Number 1. The Belo Monte Dam. The Belo Monte Dam project, which has been under construction since March 2011 on the Xingu River in the Pará state of Brazil, faced fierce resistance from the Xingu's indigenous peoples and social movements aided by international agencies. Do you know of any other dangerous dams in the world? If yes, do let us know in the comments below.